Hey everybody, I am here with Sean Driscoll today from BB Squared, and we are introducing to you the Giving Certificate campaign that's part of our community spirit and how we're showing the love for small businesses, not only here in New England, but across the country. Sean, I'm so happy to be here with you today.
Thanks, Kristen. I'm very excited to be here with you today.
I am too. So we are launching this really interesting campaign to support small business owners. And this was your brainchild that you came up with. You came to me a little while ago to say, we want to put some support into action for the businesses that we love. And I would love to have you share a little bit about your original idea and what you were thinking about supporting with the Community Spirit Giving Certificate campaign.
Happy to. So it all started for me. I guess I should say first, we've all been experiencing things like we never have before.
Yeah.
It's a unimaginable time. Nobody could have thought what something like this could be like. And so I think at a subliminal level, before we really noticed, we were missing things from our lives. And for me, I'm such a supporter of small storefronts. It's daily for me that I go to some specialty shop and buy my coffee beans, or go from my Greek yogurt to the specialty shop, or pop into some little unique place to buy a gift for a friend or something. It's just how I live. And so I think it's elevated in my mind after a while. And certainly I have, as we all do, friends who are small business owners and our small shopkeepers. And so there was one particular friend that I had a couple of conversations with just as we're touching base during this time with friends, where she was sharing out loud with me about what she was going through as a one-person shop and what she was afraid of and what she was thinking of for the future. And out of that, as we were all experiencing things, I was watching what some small businesses were doing online. I think some had very early capacity to really kind of pivot and do some creative things. And I realized my friend, Ursula, of All That Matters, was really struggling because I think her particular store footprint was different, and it wasn't something that was really organically easy for her. And so I came up with this idea of, knowing Ursula and her shop, she has so many huge customer fans.
Right.
But if it's really hard for the store owner or the small business themselves to do it, well, maybe it's us that can do it for them.
Yeah.
And make it easier, and wanting to support them because we all want them to make it.
Right.
We all want to be able to get to have those experiences that we love at these little storefronts. So that's really, I think it started, I'm just realizing as you asked me that question, subliminally, and then it kind of surfaced, and then it was through these conversations. And then I have to say, I thought of you right away just because we're friends first, but I know we're both small business owners ourselves, and I know because of the work you do, I'm like, I'm going to call Kristen and just kind of throw out the seed that I have about trying to help one small business.
Yeah.
And that's how it all started.
Yeah, I think that you make a really good point. Most of us go to small businesses every single day. It's getting our coffee. For me, I have a lot of business lunches at small businesses. I love to go out to local restaurants to conduct business. It's really important to me. Not only am I a huge foodie, but I also want to make sure that I'm supporting chefs and creative people and restaurateurs and local food producers. And this is a big part of my life. It's a huge way that I connect with people. And I know that we share that same value. I mean, going shopping, it's not just about the consuming like extra stuff that we don't need. We're talking about part of the fabric of our everyday lives, right? And we have seen the massive impact that the COVID-19 pandemic has had on these business owners who have had to close up shop. And one of the challenges that you and I have talked about is the fact that many of these small business owners are stuck in this place where some of them have not gotten online, right? They're not really actively using social media. They may have websites that they haven't updated in a while. And so not only is the impact of their storefront being closed in terms of the brick and mortar, but they're not, the sort of storefront is closed online too, right? So it's one of those things where they are feeling that need to exponentially learn a huge new skill set in order to keep their doors open. So that was part of the brainchild that you came to me with and saying, how can we as their supporters uplift them, support them, and then also, you brought up a really interesting point. You said, the footprint of the kind of community that we want, right? It's that we want to make an investment, not only in the business owners, but the kind of lifestyle that we want to live. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Well, I think while I'm missing my daily life of getting to go and experiencing these wonderful shops, and I think you're exactly right about some of this experience for those of us who love these shops are that they're not online experiences.
Right.
We go in and we know these shopkeepers, these owners, we like them, we love them. The whole consuming experience back at normal, right, pre-COVID-19, was that was all part of the package. And so worrying about them getting through this and being there on the other side is we want to get those experiences back. And so I think that's when I talk about the footprint, it's so important when we think about the landscapes that we have behind us or our backdrops and that we travel in on our usual days.
Right.
And that those of us who live it and care so deeply about how we experience that, we want to save that, we want to protect it, we want to endorse it and support it through our spending dollars. And so, that's how I was thinking about it. And, it's left me in this, it's a weird time right now for consumers or customers, right? Because we are just in a different space of how we're trying to do that from a way that we used to, and that we have to do it differently right now, temporarily. And we're navigating that in real time, right?
For sure. And I think that one of the things that you had mentioned to me, you're like, this is a giving certificate versus a gift certificate. And because we are in an unknown time, you really wanted to make that distinction and say, how can we offer people the financial support that something like the cash flow that a gift certificate would offer without necessarily having to have the strings attached, because we don't know what the landscape holds, right? And many business owners are saying, yes, it's great to buy something like a gift certificate, but it's slightly robbing Peter to pay Paul. It's like I either have the cash flow now and then maybe not later. The landscape is uncertain. So you really wanted to make a point in putting forward support with the giving certificate. So I'd love to have you share a little bit more about what that's all about and what is a giving certificate.
Well, you've just framed it perfectly the way that you made that analogy, and I think that's exactly what it is. I've had some really interesting conversations with a handful of different retail-facing small business owners who've talked about gift certificates, and I think we've heard it online and we've seen it in posts, and that some small businesses are doing it. And I think some small businesses may want to do it, but I think what I was hearing from some small businesses was we're in an immediate cash flow problem and need right now.
Right.
And that while gift certificates have great intent, if a bunch of customers buy them now with the intent to redeem them in the future, and these small businesses are closed for 2 or 3 months, we don't know the exact number of months, and then when their doors reopen, all these people come in and use the gift certificates, then it veils the cash flow problem
right
now and then. And so I think, that really resonated for me, because I think sometimes in our world we'll hear things and we're like, oh, that's great, a great thing, buy gift certificates for people. And I think some small businesses may want to do that, and
sure,
it's okay, it's part of what they want to do, but it was interesting hearing that other side of gift certificates. So as you and I talked, and we were talking about this campaign, and I was coming up with this idea as consumers to support, my drive behind this is to really purchase with these small businesses to get them to the future.
Sure.
And so it made me think of this whole idea of a different way of thinking of being a consumer and consumerism. We normally consume things, so it's a tangible experience. We get that coffee and we get to taste it right away. We get that Greek yogurt and we're eating it that week for our breakfast.
Right.
Or we buy something for our home or a friend, and we have a tangible thing that we're touching and that we're receiving. And so this idea of a giving certificate, giving certificate, it is a new kind of consumerism,
right,
where you're not getting that same, we're not replicating the experience. What we're doing is we're creating a new kind of consumerism here, where we're buying the storekeeper's future, and we're buying our future as consumers to get to do it again.
Right.
That's what our tangible will be, is that we get to go through those doors again and experience it again. So I throw that out to the audience because I think we do need to be thinking about how we're consuming right now and how it's shifted and it's different, and be thinking about how you're supporting the economies that you want to and the things to be there. It's a slightly different certificate, but it's a giving certificate.
Sean, can you say that one more time? Because we lost you a little bit on that last one. So I want to make sure that everybody who's tuning in can hear that last statement that you just made about the giving certificate. It was just a quick second that we missed.
Yeah, sure. So the joys of live, right? Live streaming.
Sure.
So it truly is not a gift certificate, but it's a giving certificate. It's this new consumerism where we're not receiving an immediate tangible. Our tangible is going to be in the future, that we get to go and enjoy these great shops and these great experiences again.
Right. And one of the things that we talked about was how important it is to use the power of our skill sets to uplift these business owners, because it's really difficult for any of us to ask for financial help. It's one of those things where, okay, if we know we're going into a bank, we know we are applying for a loan, like that's a different situation. If we individually are feeling desperate for money, it is so hard to go to our friends, to go to our customers and say, you know what, I need cash. And let's face it, there are many, many business owners who are in that exact spot right now. And so we want to use our power to kind of ease that pressure on them, because we feel pride. We don't want to feel like we're failing, right? And so we want to use our power to really lift up those business owners. And another part of the Giving Certificate program is really saying, you as a business owner can activate the network of clients and customers that you have around you who are ready and willing and who want to help support you, so that the pressure is off in terms of that direct ask for money, where they then can be a live testimonial and help to support the message. And again, we're not talking about asking for huge amounts of money. We're asking for the kinds of donations for these businesses that you would do on a daily or weekly basis, right? I mean, it's something where if you think about the coffee shop where you go and you spend $5 a day, would you consider putting in a week's worth of coffees to that as a giving certificate to that business? For me, I travel quite a lot for my work, and I love to wear jewelry that's made in Maine. I like to have all of the bags that I carry. They are all made in Maine by local artists. I feel an immense amount of pride in the fact that I am decked out in Maine art, as my jewelry, as my clothing, as the bags I carry, and I want to see that in the future. So I thought to myself after our conversation, I said, how much would I spend on that on a monthly basis, and how much can I give from my budget now? Because I'm not spending it now, and it's a really nice thing because I want to see that in the future. Those people are a part of my life. They're people who I feel immense pride in what they create, and I'm so grateful that they live and breathe and are able to thrive around me. So it's one of those things where we're making an investment in them. So tell me, you mentioned your friend Ursula. She was the first one that came to mind when talking about this project. Talk to me about what you were hoping to help her with this program, because I think it could give some of the business owners who are watching a real concrete idea about how they could implement this kind of program.
Yeah, Ursula was definitely at the heart of this. I think when I called you, I said I was like waking up in bed that morning at like 5 a.m. thinking, as we do, our mind just starts going, and I was thinking about these conversations that I'd had with her, and that's when it dawned on me. I'm like, she had shared with me how hard it is for her to ask as a sole proprietor, and one of the things that I had seen happen very easily amongst some small businesses, say a food storefront that has owners and then has a small team. It seemed like very quickly staff tip jars went up.
Right.
It was like owner asking for their staff. So it wasn't like they were asking for themselves. You're exactly right. It's so hard to ask for ourselves.
Right.
I think it's much easier to ask for others. And that made me think of Ursula being a sole proprietor shop owner, and I'm this like super fan customer. Well, I can ask for her so that she doesn't have to do the ask. And that's really where that came from. I think it was the combination of me noticing these other businesses that would ask for their staff, and then her sentiments to me about how hard it is for a shop owner to say, I need some revenue right now.
Yeah.
And so then it falls back. And when I first posed the idea, I think she was wowed by it and she was very appreciative of me, but she wondered about it. And I said, I know you're going to have a bunch of other customers just like me who are going to just hop right in. And that's been the experience we've had as she's kind of worked along this, and we're launching her first alongside this campaign. This is really, I'm going to give Kristen credit here that we built the concept document and then this wonderful roadmap guide that Kristen came up with to help consumers and small businesses know how to do their own little campaign.
Yeah.
But it really, thank you for distinguishing too that, you know, I really think at heart this campaign is customer driven and it's customer peer-to-peer on behalf of the small shop owners. But if any of you small shop owners are watching us, you know, this is an example that you can use for yourselves, and just know you have favorite customers out there who love you and who are going to be really willing to do this. So I hope you won't be too timid about asking, because I think they are just there and waiting.
Oh, absolutely. I think that I can think of people that I want to approach right now and say, would you be willing to have me do a testimonial for you so that we can get you the cash flow that you deserve? Because I love them, frankly. I really do. And it's an important part. They're my friends. And it's not just that I shop at their shops, but they're who I think about when I think about my community and why we feel really blessed to live where we do, right? So let's dig into some of those steps, because we talked about what we have to help these business owners in a very concrete way. We have the mission that you can download. So it's a 3-part kit that you can get, and it's completely free. We want to be really, really clear about that. It's a 3-part kit, the mission of what the Giving Certificate campaign is all about. And this is a really important part of understanding why and how this kind of campaign can really affect change for your business right now. The second part is a roadmap, and it's 3 steps, and we wanted to purposefully keep it very simple for business owners and the people that the business owners reach out to, so those ambassadors, where number 1, you're setting up why you want to enter into the campaign. Number 2, you're setting up your payment portals, and we make it really easy through PayPal, through Venmo, and then through check. And this is not anything that you need to do. You don't need to have any website programming skills. You don't need to have any special online skills in order to set up a PayPal account or a Venmo account, or also people can send you a check the old-fashioned way. We just wanted to make sure that we cast as wide of a net as possible, so that when your ambassadors go to work and do their work for your business, that the greater audience has a very easy way to get that cash to you as a business owner. And then the third part is how to talk to those people who are your number 1 fans. How do you share with them, and exactly what to say, and some sample posts. And the sample posts are really important, because if you're a person like me, I need to see things kind of written out and good examples in place, and then I do a better job of explaining and asking it to other people. So in the kit, you will see those examples written out for you, and also some photograph examples too. We've also included in the Giving Certificate campaign, the kit, some sample Giving Certificate photos that you could include with your posts. So Sean did some great ones that you can post along with your social media posts or share with your friends. And we really want to encourage you to use these on social media. But if you're not social media savvy, this is where your ambassadors come in. You don't have to be on social media in order for your ambassadors to share about your business on social media, meaning that your business, say, is not so active online, but as long as your ambassador can share the message and share those different payment portals, then that's how this works, right? And again, one of the things that, Sean, you and I talked about was the fact that we want to set these business owners up for success, not just in the short term, but to begin to think about how can we support you in the long haul, because we are here for you in the long haul, and it's one of those things that it's so important that we continue to make the investment, and so that we can see the kind of community and future that we want to see, especially as we're shopping locally. So that's what's in the kit. We are going to be posting the link to the kit down below, that you can download that and make sure to share it with your friends. And if you have any questions about that, you can reach out to Sean through his BB Squared Facebook page. You can reach out to me, Kristen F. Simmons Digital Media, on my Facebook page. We are here as resources for you, so please don't hesitate to reach out. Sean, I want to ask you, just kind of as we wrap things up here, what would you like to see as your number one kind of goal with this campaign? Because I know you've worked hard with Ursula. In fact, you actually did a video for Ursula this morning, right? You did this ambassador program, kind of launched her this morning, didn't you?
I did. So I would guide anybody to go to my personal Facebook page, which you'll find through links and through social media. But I did kicked off All That Matters giving certificate campaign for Ursula just a couple of hours ago. So I did a post on my Facebook page, and I did a video shout out with all the pertinent information in the script of the post. But yeah, I think it's a real live example. There are sample language ideas in the kit itself, and I think people should do what fits them.
Sure.
We all know in the work that we do, and Kristen and I do, it's about being yourself, and it's about being who you are. And so a video might work for some people. Some other people might want to post a picture of something from their favorite shop, or the shop, a picture of them with the shop owner, or whatever. There are all kinds of ways. I think some people might share my video or my post, which is fine. So I think there'll be all kinds of ways that this happens, which is great. But, you know, I think, thank you, Kristen. I want to say thank you to you, because I really had this idea personally from my own life and my own friends. And you helped me elevate it. And, you know, I am a small business too, right? We have all these different identities. And you really, I think, heard me talking about it and saw the potential to reach so many other small businesses and so many other customers. So my hope is in us doing this work together. It's been wonderful, first of all. I think I started with saying we're friends first.
Yeah.
We become great friends. We know we're both small businesses. We're in kind of different spaces. This has been a wonderful time for you and I to get to do some work together. It's community work, but it's given us a chance to kind of do some business of a community sort together, which has been wonderful. And so my hope is really that, you know, we're going to be able to spread this to a bunch of other small business store and shopkeepers and a bunch of other customers who can really take off with this and really make a difference through this time period. And the last thing I'll say is you've also planted a seed in me, and I know I've already been talking to Ursula about next steps for her, because I think what this campaign can do for somebody too is to make them more pliable and make them more thinking about the future. These these stores and these shopkeepers who have these really unique formats and everything, I think this is new for them.
Yeah.
And so I think even doing, and again, it's not hard to do what Kristen has laid out because she made it really easy. But they're important steps. They're steps. You're doing something.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to help these small businesses do the next thing that they'll need to do. So I think those are the things that are the silver linings or the silver bullets out of this, you know, that I think are going to really make a difference for people.
I agree. Well, I'm so honored to be able to work on this with you. And again, I think I speak for the both of us when I say, again, our intention is really to provide you with that creativity and also the strategy to help you move forward. It's really important right now to be able to have those ideas, because a lot of us are living with blinders on. We're kind of making it through the day and doing our very best. And sometimes it's that one creative spark that can be so helpful. And once that spark is lit, that combined with strategy, that can really affect some change. And that's what the both of us are all about. So we really want to encourage you to follow our pages for ongoing help and support in your individual businesses. Don't hesitate to reach out by tagging us in your posts. Remember to download in the link in the comments below. Make sure that you find Sean Driscoll on Facebook to look at his sample video. And I think lastly, we wish everybody the very best. We're thinking of all of you in this time, and we want you to know that we are here to support you. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Bye-bye.
Everyone.